Now you have to understand why. On your request to stay and finish the Bhagavatam, I will stay.
They closed out the temple, and where did Shankarbrit and all the people go?
And look, I found this box in the closet. I showed him. It's a certificate of ISKCON of Karnataka.
It's not Bull Temple. Hare Krishna Road is near the Racecourse Road.
Madhu Pandit joined. I recommended him for initiation. Kanchalapati, I recommended him. Either this man goes or I go.
Now you are in Kodachadri Hills. And now when you see this massive, colossal ISKCON Bangalore winning the Supreme Court verdict.
Like this, ISKCON's like that battle with Dayaram and Gundas and things.
Post 82, from when Madhu Pandit Prabhu took over, from that chaos it became systematic.
I was there when he took sannyas. He took sannyas from all 11. That ain't ecstasy, man. That's LSD. He said, that guy is high as a kite.
Hare Krishna. Today we have a very special guest at ISKCON Bangalore. I'm sorry to say as a guest, rather, he is the who started ISKCON Bangalore, one of the beginning people who started ISKCON in Bangalore. With me is Tattva Darshan Prabhu. He came in contact with ISKCON in 1973.
I joined in 73.
Joined in
I
73.
would have come in contact maybe in 72.
72. Okay, great. In which place? In Miami?
I joined in Miami. Officially.
Officially. Lot of stories are there connected with him. I'm not going much into his US stories. I'm going to ask him questions about his journey in India, especially in South India, in Bangalore, and more about all these aspects. It's a wonderful, very riveting, full of adventure, full of thrills. So many aspects are there. So get ready to be seated to hear this wonderful conversation that I'm going to have with Tattva Darshan Prabhu. A warm welcome, Prabhu. So Tattva Darshan Prabhu.
First off, I'm not special, and I'm not a guest. And I'm not a senior devotee that is worthy of any kind of respect.
That's your humility.
I'm just a God brother like all of you.
Yeah.
And let's keep it like that.
We are very humbled. Thank you for your graciousness and acceptance of all of us, although we don't deserve to be. That apart, Tattva Darshan Prabhu, which year did you come to India first?
I came to India in December of 1977.
77.
Now you have to understand why. We all wanted to come early. And in 1977, in April and May, Srila Prabhupada had given the order that all his disciples should come to India. He was going to leave, and he knew they would want instructions, they would want guidance, they would have questions. So what I'm narrating here first comes from Jagaguru Swami, who was our Nrsinga Swami, and he was appointed by Prabhupada to prepare for Prabhupada's disciples to come to India. And at the same time that Srila Prabhupada was calling all his disciples to India, he was calling his GBC men that they should come and discuss BBT, DOM, property trustees, last will and testament, these things, okay? So Prabhupada said to tell all my disciples to come to India. I'm calling them. So Jagaguru Swami began to get everything ready, commissioning sabji wallas, putting pandals on the top of the Gurukula roof in Vrindavan, booking our dharmshalas. And he was asking, the main persons in charge of doing that were Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Rameshwar Maharaj, Satsvarup Maharaj. They were the main ones. to tell all the devotees. So they discussed among themselves. I'm narrating what I heard 3 different times, okay? They discussed among themselves. And they figured that 1,000 devotees would come, at least. So they went to Prabhupada. And they said, Prabhupada, 1,000 devotees will come. And it'll cost $1,000 for each devotee. That's $1 million. Our society cannot afford that. It will cripple ISKCON financially. We can't do that. And Prabhupada replied, let them come. Right? Again, Jagaguru Swami was going on with the arrangements. And the next thing that was reported to Srila Prabhupada was, who will come? The book distributors will come because they can get the Lakshmi to travel. Temple presidents will come. Temple officers will come. The pujaris will come. Deity worship might even stop. Book distribution will stop. There will be no money, not only $1 million, but there'll be no money coming in. And who will manage the temples? And it'll be like this at least a month. Prabhupada said, you don't maintain these temples. Krishna maintains. You're not the maintainers. He says, as far as the deity worship, he says, if it comes to it, let the deities be put to rest. Krishna will understand. Let them come. So, a few days later, the representative from North America, Satsvarup Maharaj, explained he arrives with a little bag in one hand, and he used to like to chant his japa with his bead bag, what we call side saddle, like this, okay?
No.
Longer strap.
Mm.
So he walked in the front gate with this little bag, no danda, side saddle, japa, and he was met by Jagaguru Swami when he walked in. He said, so Maharaj, how many devotees, they're both Maharajas, how many devotees can we expect? He says, we scrapped the idea. And now what were they telling us in America? Why we weren't there in November? Why it was December that I came? They were telling us that Prabhupada said he doesn't want any of his devotees to come. He wants us all to distribute books. And Prabhu, I was a prime book distributor. I mean, I used to do pretty well all my life in distributing books and collecting Lakshmi and figuring out ways to do the books and stuff. And that Prabhupada had started eating again. He ate a strawberry. And he said, Krishna has given me the choice to stay or go. So on your request to stay and finish the Bhagavatam, I will stay. This was all false. Right? This is what we were told. So we didn't come. So we scrapped the idea. Right? Then, to cut this story short, a few days later, May 28th, right? All the GBC didn't come. Only a few came. And the meeting is for what? To discuss BBT, property trustees, last will and testament. Prabhupada's making out his last will and testament. He's not planning to stay, okay? And he's not, and property trustees, all these things, GBC, how they're to operate. Dome was on the agenda, directive of management. So they gather in May 28th in Prabhupada's room. There were some other subsidiary meetings. Our first question to you, Srila Prabhupada, concerns initiations in the future when you are no longer with us, both first and second. When this is all finished up, BBT, MVT, all that, I will appoint some of you as my officiating acharyas. We know the conversation. So that ended the chapter of the devotees coming. We were all there. Then we heard Srila Prabhupada left, and we were in a Tulsi house taking care of Tulsi Maharani in Miami when we got the news. And the first thing I remember was just starting to cry like anything and saying, where are we going? What are we going to do? So somehow, although I was told to stay and distribute books and support the temple and everything, I came on my own in 1977 against the order of my temple president, who was then Narahari. Abhiram had already moved to India. So had Adri. And I was coming behind them. I came in December, a brahmachari, 1977, not knowing where or what I'm going to do.
You came to which part of India?
The first thing I came, still a little dazed, I came to Vrindavan. I flew into Delhi. So I came to Vrindavan. Okay? This was the very end of the last few days. I think what I did was I finished the Christmas marathon on the 25th. And I think the next day I got my flight. So I was probably in India in the last couple of days of December 1977. Meanwhile, I'd been wanting to come to India even since my early days. I wanted to stow away on a banana boat and come to India because I was chanting even from the age of 12 as a vegetarian. So I came and I went to Vrindavan. And my first service in Vrindavan that they gave me was to do kirtan in front of Prabhupada's Samadhi from 2 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the morning when the Samadhi Mangal Artik would happen. It was cold. It was January by this time, right? That was my first service. And during that service, cold. And we used to have bare feet because we didn't believe in wearing shoes in the Dham. And I was staying in the Goshala. We'd walk, our feet would be frozen by the time we got over there. And one devotee, a brahmachari from India, he came up to me in the kirtan and he chanted with me a few mantras that I was doing. And he said, Prabhu, he said, why don't you come to Karnataka? He asked me, where are you from? What are you? This was Shankarbridge. I'm answering your first question. Okay.
Yes.
He says, why don't you come to Karnataka? I said, I don't know what Karnataka is, you know. He says, South India. He says, it's much better than North India. I said, well, I don't know. He says, maybe it's your Guru Datta Desh. He used those words. Okay, Prabhu. Right? That's all. Okay. I did my kirtan. I went to Mayapur for the Mayapur festival. I went around trying to figure things out. But it was funny because at this time, they were building Vyasasans. Okay. We had no idea of Ritvik. It didn't go. We were told these 11 guys are gurus. Okay. We had no idea about that either. Okay. We were dazed. We were practically new devotees. Okay. All we'd done is distribute Prabhupada's books and things. So they put these 11 Vyasasans. But there were questions about the Vyasasans right in the beginning. So somehow, due to contact, I was a little bit friendly with some senior devotees. We went to Navadvip. Swarup Damodar Goswami, myself, Bhavananda was there, who I began to know in Jayapataka. And the question was Vyasasans. Okay? Because what they had decided, there would be 3 Vyasasans. Prabhupada's, one for the zonal acharya, because it was his zone, and one for a visiting acharya, if he happened to be in the zone. And they had gone to ask Sridhar Maharaj about the Vyasasans. And his basic answer at the time was, I can see the future very clearly in ISKCON. It's on the Vyasasan issue. And he put his hand up in the air. He said, Vyasa-sans, from the mountains to the sea. That's what Sridhar Maharaj answered. So during this period, 78, 79, 80, I became very close because I was a GBC servant. I wasn't on the GBC, but I was in all the meetings outside most of the time, and I would receive the GBCs, and I knew a lot of them from America, from traveling around America. I did TSKP for years. I knew a lot of them, right? So I was becoming, I was there, and I was a brahmachari. So I got to see all these things going on. We were there in when the first 11 Vyasa-sans were put up, and Aranya Garba, who's no longer in the world now, he was also with me in Miami, him and his brothers. There were 3 brothers. They were in Miami. They were with Abhiram and me, and he became Sanskrit. He later became Gaudiya Math. He wrote a song that they said would be sung for Guru Puja for these 11. It was called Eko Mahajan. And the first person to sing that with 11 Vyasa-sans in Mayapur, with all of them sitting there, was Satvik.
Really?
Eko Mahajan, Bhavanandanan, Satsvarupa Gan. Satvik was the first one to sing it.
My God.
And Satvik and I were good friends by this time. By 78, Gaur Purnima Festival. And we both didn't know what the heck was going on. And Satvik and I also traveled to America together on Traveling Sankirtan. Those are other stories. So somehow or another it went on like this with, even I went back to America once, and I became a Sankirtan leader for Mayapur. I would take parties of 8, 5, 6, 7 devotees and collect money for Mayapur. We collected millions, okay? And Shravananda, our good friend, he was the one who helped us get the first Mayapur Sankirtan. He gave us all tickets. They stranded me in Bangkok as a brahmachari. So we started as a Mayapur Sankirtan party by 78. We're in America. I was landscaping the temples, and I was doing Sankirtan and distributing books. That was my service, okay? I was a Sankirtan leader who joined at that time also Panchagoda, who's now in Vrindavan. He was part of us. Abhiram, Panchagoda, me. I was his first Sankirtan leader. We took his van that he joined in, and we made it a Sankirtan van. And Pancha and I traveled all over America distributing books and doing Santa Claus. Santa Claus, we did some funny things, So this connection came of all of us at that time. So then somewhere around 1980, the GBC, who at that time was Bhavananda, or Jayapataka mainly, asked us to go to South India because South India was devastated. There was nothing going on in South India. Bangalore had closed. Madras had closed. There was nothing in Kerala, Trivandrum. Only thing going was Hyderabad. And that was shaky because of Mahamsa and the things that were there. So we had some vans. We collected in Europe to buy these Mercedes vans. Okay? And Prabhu Vishnu brought them down over, and some boys drove them across. So we were given a van. They said, go to Bangalore, and Parideya, an English gentleman, a real gentleman, aristocratic gentleman, was to go and open the temple in Madras. And I was to open the temple in Bangalore. Okay? I think there was only 1 or 2 devotees with me. So we got to Bangalore. We sent the vans back to Mayapur. And we got to Bangalore. It's 1980. I can't remember the month. And there was Gauranga Das. He was there. Gauranga was an old Radha Damodar man who I had met on Radha Damodar because our traveling parties in America used to go and hook up with Radha Damodar everywhere.
So in Bangalore, there was no temple that time?
In Bangalore, there was no temple. Bull Temple Road had been closed.
Which temple?
Bull Temple Road, Hare Krishna Road.
Bull Temple?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Road, which is there.
Yeah, that
Shivananda
Bull Temple Road, that Shiva Temple.
Ah.
That's where Shankarbrit was first.
Okay, Shankarbrit was there. But it was closed.
It was closed.
Why?
By 1980, it was. Why it was closed? Well, from what I understand, okay, Shankarbrit was there with with Amiya Vilas and a few others and Prataparudra and things. They were there. They formed the Hare Krishna Society. ISKCON of Karnataka. They were there. So I arrived in Bangalore and Gauranga was there.
So they closed down the temple, and where did Shankarbrit and all the people go?
They went, Shankarbrit started going to maybe start preaching in Tirupati and Shankarbrit.
So they entirely gave up Bangalore.
Bangalore was closed.
No center,
it was
nothing.
closed. Hansadutta was a previous GBC down there too. No one was there.
Okay.
No one was in Madras.
Okay. So you came,
Gauranga came in maybe 6 months before in the Gauranga, the Savodi Gauranga with his wife Krishna Vesha, who was a disciple of Tamal Krishna Maharaj.
Okay.
And Gauranga was the old Radha Damodar man who I knew from traveling in America with him. He was an all-American, a very handsome man, big man, very charismatic, played the harmonium. He had a connection with Bangalore by coming there, and they rented a house on West Accord Road.
He had rented a house.
He rented the house first, okay? And maybe he was there 5-6 months, but he wanted to go. He didn't want to stay there. He wanted to go somewhere and do something, okay? Now, Gauranga stayed connected with us for many years until he was sent out of India on that treasure thing that happened in the Vijayanagar kingdom treasure, and Nagaraj, who was here in Bangalore. I was part of all that history, okay? So I came and Gauranga handed me the keys. I said, well, what's going on? He says, nothing going on here. He says, we're leaving. You're here. You're taking over. It's ISKCON. Okay. I says, well, is there any money? Is there anything? He says, there's nothing here. He said, there's a box. There's a box. Is all we have left. He said, that was handed over. I don't know. He said, some guy, a Shetty on a bicycle, gave us that box, and that box came from Bull Temple Road, which was, he came in the first part of last of 79. And I came in the first part of 80. He was only there a few months. He was the president, but he didn't want to stay. And I forget, I don't even know if I had anybody with me at the time, right? Because Parideya went to Madras. Maybe a couple of people were with me or something. I don't remember right now. So Gauranga left. And I'm in the rented house. And I'm the president of ISKCON Bangalore. Right? And 2-3 days later, and I hadn't even taken the box out of the closet yet. Yeah, there was a couple of, Ananda Sarup sent some devotees down, some brahmachari. Most of us were, Durgama came, he was from Italy. Bhagavatamrita came, the Brazilian Bhagavatamrita. Bhagi came, and we were there. And then Jayapataka Maharaj arrived, along with Satyadanya Swami. Now, I also went with Satyadanya to Europe and other places as a Swami. And they came. And Jayapataka Maharaj is my GBC. I know him from Mayapur already. We became a little friends. He even came on our Mayapur traveling Sankirtan party in America. And we went to his father and we met him. And he traveled in my van with me. And Bhavananda was also, we went to Detroit. We did different things. Mayapur before this. From 78 and 79. I had the Mayapur traveling party in America, too, in and out of India with Mayapur. Whole nother chapter. Okay. So they came. And, Jayapataka Maharaj, I'm his GBC. I said, yeah, Maharaj. We were friends, right? He wasn't my guru. We were friends. So I said, look, I found this box in the closet. And I showed him. A certificate of ISKCON of Karnataka. It was in a frame. There was Gaur Nitai, who's our Utsav deity.
In that box only?
In that box.
In one trunk of box?
It was a box. It was a cardboard box. It wasn't even a trunk.
Oh my God.
And there were pictures of Gaur Nitai getting Abhishekam. I had no idea where the pictures were or what it was. There was a conch shell. There was an Achman cup, a few things. This was all that was in the box. There was nothing else in that box, right? Jayapataka Maharaj, and so I took a bed, a cot, a regular bed.
Mm.
It was the only furniture we had in the place, and a table. I put the bed up on end so the two legs went up on the ceiling, and we hung a chutter and a drapery on it. We put the table underneath, so it was an altar with a canopy over it.
Oh my God!
That same day, I said, these deities are
I think
installed.
you should tell this. This has to be recorded. How you made the altar.
And who was with me was Satyadanya, the Maharaj. At that time, Maharaj.
So you took a cot and the cot's feet protruded out, and that was...
And underneath we put a table up against the cot. And that's where Gorditai sat. And then another small table is where Prabhupada picture sat. It wasn't even a group Parambar, just a Prabhupada picture. And that day we set it up is the same day we took that out of the box. And then the next morning was the first Mangal Arti. Because I said these deities are installed, they have to be worshipped.
And it's the same Nitai Gauranga deities which is there in the altar.
Right
today.
Now, the Utsav deities. Same ones. And they had been in Bull Temple Road. Hare Krishna Road.
No, it's not Bull Temple. Hare Krishna Road is near the Racecourse Road, no?
Yeah, Racecourse Road.
Racecourse
no,
Road.
Bull Temple was the name of the temple or something.
There's a Bull Temple Road?
Anyways, I identify Bull Temple, Hare Krishna Road. It's the same place.
No, I'll tell you, because in my childhood, I'm from Bangalore. So in my childhood, I have seen one road called Hare Krishna Road. That Hare Krishna Road was near the Racecourse Road.
Yeah, right.
Bull Temple is actually in South Bangalore.
Okay.
That's a different area altogether. So Racecourse Road, Hare Krishna Temple, that's what I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
In the center of the road,
little temple and the temple in the middle. That's what
understood. So
that's
that is Racecourse Road.
That's what I call Bull Temple Road.
Oh, that's not Bull Temple, that's Racecourse Road.
I stand corrected. So Jayapataka Maharaj was there. And I asked him, I said, Maharaj, what is the certificate? ISKCON of Karnataka. Right? He said, I think Shankarabrit did this. Right? They later, Jayapataka Maharaj put me up to prosecute Shankarabrit in Tirupati. That's another story. I became regional secretary of Andhra. And I took over the Hyderabad farm. So I said, he said, Prabhupada said to register. That's what he said. He said, Prabhupada told Shankarabrit he could register. So I asked Shankarabrit, and Shankarabrit told me, yes, Prabhupada said we could register. So, and I asked Jayapataka Maharaj, well, what else did Prabhupada say? He said that Prabhupada told me that Karnataka will be the first Krishna conscious state in India. Prabhupada told me that. Jayapataka Swami told me, right? The Karnataka will be the first Krishna. And
Prabhupada told to Jayapataka Maharaj. Yeah. And Jayapataka Maharaj told you.
He told me. Okay. And then I asked Shankarabrit about that few years later. And he said, yes, Prabhupada said Karnataka will be the first Krishna conscious state in India. What I said yesterday about Karnataka, the only name in the Veda and everything, that I'll add it. All Jayapataka Maharaj says, Prabhupada said Karnataka will be the first Krishna conscious state in India. Okay? He left. Satyadanya remained. We did Mangal Artik for those deities. Then Satyadanya left the next day. And Ananda Sarup started coming down with devotees. Now, somewhere in between, now you have to see, at this time, when I was a temple president, Atma Tattva came, our great storyteller. Mahashringa then to become Maharaj. He came. Satvik came. We're all friends. Okay? Bhagavatamrita came, Durgamba came, Gaur Keshava came to study puja. Shama Sundar, now your Bangalore correspondent.
To study puja from whom?
He was studying both from the Ramanujas and from the Madhvas in the Yoga Pita. And who else? Shama Sundar. You're now Bangalore correspondent who goes so much against Ritvik, right? The astrologer Shama Sundar, not the regular Shama Sundar. They were all in the temple. Briyad Shloka. All these old Prabhupada disciples were done. We were a big group. Okay? And Ananda Sarup decided he would be in charge of everybody, right? But nobody liked him. we used to have a joke. It was only a joke because Nanda Swarup is actually a very wonderful personality. We had a joke that if Mussolini and Hitler had a child, it would be a Bhaktivedanta Swarup. It was a joke, okay? So anyways, time went on. This little guy, a Shetty, came in on a bicycle. He said, I was with Shankerbrit. I was with Gauranga. Gauranga told me there's this guy Shetty knows everything. He'll come and see you someday.
Who?
A Shetty on a bicycle.
A Shetty.
He was like their secretary and things.
Uh-huh.
So he came in and I asked him, what's the certificate? He said, oh, we registered down on Kempegowda Road. We registered with the Register Societies. He knew little legal things and stuff.
Okay.
I was just becoming to know them. Now I'm really conversant with the laws and the things and trusts and societies and things. But at that time, I was just becoming to know.
Correct.
Right? And he says, yeah, he says that your guru told that we should register this society. I said, well, what happened to it? He says, well, it's just sitting there. He says, I know the certificate. I said, can you take this certificate? Can you go down to this register society? He says, if you want, I'll go down. He says, no, there's no need for you to go down. He says, I was a secretary that helped do this. He says, I says, can you go down and I knew this much. Can you file nil account? That there's no activity, but don't let it go dormant. So he went down, he filed for 79 and 80. Okay? 79, 80 year. It's a 1 year, 79 to 80. I think some accountant guy gave us a nil account for 500 rupees or something, right? And we filed it. Nowhere to be found now. And we didn't get a certificate. We didn't get anything. So like this time went on. And I had a little difficulty dealing with Ananda Sarup, like a lot of other people did. Madhu Pandit joined. I recommended him for initiation. He joined in IIT in Bombay, but he was from Bangalore. Chanchalapati, I recommended him. Mahasundar and the group were around at that time, right? And I was still the president. And I recommended him for initiation to Jayapataka Maharaj. We were already rebels. We didn't know the whole Ritvik philosophy. We were rebels. I was in Vrindavan in 1978 with Yashodanandana when we threw the Vyasasan off the roof. I was there when Pradyumna was making a raise up against it. There was even a meeting, that's another story, a Pradyumna where Prabhupada said no to Hridayananda Maharaj. He will not finish the Bhagavatam. He was going to Harvard to learn Sanskrit. Only Pradyumna. And it was recorded. That recording is missing now. But eyewitness in there told me about it in Vrindavan in the room. So this time it went on and the devotees were building up and stuff in Bangalore. And we were preaching. We were making life members. We were meeting people. We were going out. We met that Nada Rao, who was the Guru Nada. He was the chief minister then. And we Gunda Rao. And we asked, we were trying to find a better house. So we found this big house on Upper Palace Orchard Roads, right? Across from the palace. And we made friends with the Maharaja Mysore and all this. We used to go over there and visit him. And then his sidekick had all these guns and they would show us around. They bring us around the Bangalore Palace. They brought us to the Mysore Palace. We did and we had traveling Sankirtan parties going all over South India. We were going to Madurai. We opened a small little warehouse.
At that time, Madhu Pandit Prabhu was there?
Madhu Pandit was preaching, but he was still finishing up his IIT. He had just got initiated. He got initiated by 81. I recommended him to Jai, and I told him, you have to go here to get initiated by Jayapataka. So the traveling Sankirtan party started. Madras was building up. Things were going on, right? Gauranga ended up going to Trivandrum with Nishringa and opening up South India and Trivandrum again. They were with the Maharaja Charan Corps. And we were with Maharaja Mysore and we were doing this thing here. We were meeting a lot of people. We were meeting the chief ministers. So we wanted a bigger house. So we had the certificate of ISKCON of Bangalore, ISKCON of Karnataka. We're calling ISKCON Bangalore, but I think the actual name on the
Karnataka Society.
ISKCON of Karnataka Society or something like that. And we made an application for the Upper Palace Orchard Roads in that name. I wasn't here when it came through. Madhu Pandit was the president when that came through. Anyway, somewhere along, I couldn't get along with Bhaktivedanta Sarup, and I restarted the BBT. We had a Garuda Char, and some other people were translating Bhagavad Gita and other things. So we started up, and they gave me Tamil, and I became BBT manager. Ma Shringa and Satvik became the presidents of Bangalore.
You were still there.
I was there as a BBT manager when they became the president.
Okay.
But I couldn't deal with it.
So you gave up your presidentship and they became president?
They became president next. And I started to print the books and do things like that, right? Because I was being called to Hyderabad for the Hyderabad farm crisis by the GBC, right? So I was still around Bangalore, going in and out, and I was doing the BBT, and I was coordinating with the Nandamoy, where already BBT was there in the Telugu language, and getting we got the first books printed in Karnataka language, as I was the BBT manager. And I was dealing with Bombay on that. And Ananda Sarup was managing, and he wasn't getting along with anybody, okay? So one day I was there in the office with Ma Shringa and with Satvik, and Ananda Sarup came storming in the office, and he says, "I want this man out of here." Said me, right? He says, "I want this man out of here." I was on the guru issue too, that this wasn't right. We didn't know what was, and I was challenging and things like that, right? And then he says in front of Ma Shringa and Satvik, he said, "Either this man goes or I go." And you know what they said? They said, "Goodbye, Maharaj."
My God.
And at that time, I was called to Hyderabad because Mahamsa had just left. Right? He had just left his sannyas and Hyderabad farm. And it was a crisis. And Hyderabad temple had been locked up by the endowments department. There were wax locks on the doors, and they were challenging their endowments. Hyderabad was a little devastated. Asked me to go there. I went there. I took up Hyderabad farm. In 1 year, the Goshala, the whole farm was back with us. But Ananda Sarup was still involved. So finally I left. He was another reason I left Hyderabad farm. We had 20 devotees on Hyderabad farm at that time. I'm visiting Bangalore. I'm coming back because Ma Shringa and them are down here. I'm coming back and other things, right? So that's how we got started in South India. And we spread out to Trivandrum, and then Madhu Pandit became president in Trivandrum. And then he came up and he began Bangalore. He took over Bangalore.
From Ma Shringa and Satvik, Madhu Pandit took over.
I think it was Satvik himself by that time, because Ma Shringa had left.
You also left. This has all happened between 81 and 80.
He left to take his sannyas too. That was a funny story too, because Jayapataka Maharaj was putting him up for sannyas. Okay? But he defected and went with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Okay? He was going to go to the Philippines with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So, funny. So he went up for the sannyas board for review of becoming a sannyas. And Jayapataka Maharaj objected. Tamal Krishna said, "I'll give him sannyas." And the sannyas board asked, "Why are you objecting, Jayapataka Maharaj?" He said, "Because he eats Tootsie Rolls, chocolate." He says, and they vetoed that, and they gave him sannyas. So when Ma Shringa took sannyas, my wife made the garlands for him in Mayapur. Okay? Made the garlands for him, and we pressed his sannyas clothes, my wife and I, because we're very good. Ma Shringa and I is the best friend I ever had in this world, my whole life, you know? So he had us make 2 garlands. So he walked right by Tamal Krishna Maharaj with his sannyas clothes and his danda and everything, and the 2 garlands. And he walked over to Jayapataka Maharaj, and he placed 1 garland on Jayapataka Maharaj. Then he walked back to Tamal and gave him his sannyas clothes to give him, and gave him the garland. These kind of things were going on. We were rebels. And Satvik, Ma Shringa, Adridhar, and I, we were rebels. Madhu Pandit Prabhu was loyal to the ISKCON system. And that caused some rifts, but he was always a gentleman. One thing, even when he was opposing us on the Ritvik issue and different, Madhu Pandit was a gentleman. He was a true Prabhupada man, even though. So that's how. And then later, you know the story of how we came in and we still became connected, and how Ritvik and Adri and all of us came in, and all the meetings we had here in Bangalore, and then us starting the farm here in Bangalore on Prabhupada's orders.
So, like, for example, like you said, 81, Jayapataka Maharaj told you to come to Bangalore, right?
No, I went to Hyderabad.
First you came to Hyderabad only.
Yeah, I came from here to Hyderabad.
No, from here you went to Hyderabad, but to Bangalore, from Mayapur you came to Bangalore, no?
Yeah, that was Jayapataka Maharaj, Bhavan, acting on behalf of the GBC.
Correct, acting on
and
behalf of the
Hansaduta had just been cleared out.
Okay. So you came to Bangalore in 81, and at that time they had closed down Bangalore. The Hare Krishna road disaster happened. Shankarbrit Prabhu had left to Tirupati. You came here, nobody was there. Then you were joined by
a lot of devotees
here and there. And then by 82, you have given up your...
Bangalore was always a center of energy. Somehow everything was attractive here.
So by 82, you have given up your position as Bangalore president, handed over to Mahashringa. Mahashringa Prabhu also left, then handed it over to Satvik Prabhu. So in 82, Satvik Prabhu was the president.
So why Mahashringa...
And then when did Satvik Prabhu leave from here?
Satvik. When Mahashringa was the president, just before he became the president, I'd gone to Vrindavan. And I met Bhaktisiddhanta, our sculptor.
Understood. I know.
Bhaktisiddhanta, he joined also in Miami. So he was with us. Then Miami sent him to LA to be part of the art department, okay, because he was a great sculptor. But him and Vidya pulled into Miami in a station wagon with a Tulsi on it, and Abhiram was the president, and I was Bhakta at the time, even before my initiation. Though I joined in 73, I didn't take initiation until 76 in New Vrindavan. Another saga.
So within 1 year,
I'm telling you that. So then I'm talking about Prabhupada Murti that's here now in Bangalore. So I went to Vrindavan just before Mahashringa became the president, and I met Bhaktisiddhanta, and we were friends because we were together in Miami, and he was a very wonderful devotee, still is. And I used to deal with him in his art department and talk to him and meet him. So there was a Murti. I think this was the very first brass Murti he made of Prabhupada, right? And
this is the big Murti,
the one on your Vyasa sign. Yeah. So I said, can we have that for Bangalore? I was still the president. And he says, Bangalore is a small temple. There's nothing there. What do you need this big Murti of Prabhupada? I said, but this is the first one you made of Prabhupada, right? He says, yeah, but I've made it for Madras because they're going to build a big temple in Madras. I said, well, there'll be a big temple in Bangalore someday too. I says, why don't you give it to Bangalore? And he says, but it's commissioned for Madras. I says, come on, Bhakti, we go so far back. Give it to us, you know? And I says, and Mahashringa is coming down to Bangalore too. And Mahashringa and Bhakti were really close. He said, okay. He says, I'll give it to you. He says, but you have to pay for it. And he said, 12,000 rupees. That was a lot of money back in 1981.
Huge money. 12,000
big
is
money
huge
in the beginning. I says, 12,000 rupees? He said, yes. And he says, you have to come personally here and pick him up and bring him in a first-class train or a plane to Bangalore. I said, okay. I went down, and then Mahashringa's coming in as a president. I said, Mahashringa, we need 12,000 rupees, you know, and I'm on my way to Hyderabad. I'm doing BBT. And he says, okay, I'll get it. And Mahashringa got the 12,000. I know where he got it.
From where he got that money?
I have no idea. He got it, okay? Ma's a magic man. He can get it, okay?
You had donors in Bangalore? Somebody would
Oh,
donate.
we had many donors and we
During
had
those
many. We
times?
made many life members in the beginning.
Oh.
So many. We started the life membership program here,
Uh-huh.
and so then
You paid them.
by the time it was time, we got the money and we got the deity and everything. I'd gone to Hyderabad for the Hyderabad farm crisis and everything. It was a few years later, after I left Hyderabad, that they brought me back as a regional secretary. Okay. And in between, I also started the Padayatra. With all due respect, Lokanath Swami did not start the Padayatra. Satvik and I started the Padayatra.
Really?
Lokanath Swami did not start what we call the Padayatra. It's still going today. He has the credit keeping it going. He did not start it. He did not inspire the GBC to get behind it. He didn't do any of that. He stepped in Dwarka. We were already going.
So you are the founder Acharya of the Padayatra.
Not the Acharya, but in Prabhupada. And you know why Padayatra was started? Padayatra was started because Prabhupada said, put me in a bullock cart and take me to all the holy places of India, and I will get the power to finish the Bhagavatam. So I wanted to take Prabhupada in a bullock cart to all the holy places in India.
Oh my God.
I arranged the advance parties. I arranged the advance vans. I arranged the Prabhupada Murtis, the deities, the bullock carts, the elephants, the camels. 600 devotees in Dwarka, built a gate in Dwarka. Wasn't Lokanath. Satvik will tell you about it. When we got to Bombay with the Padayatra, there was a whole fanfare with all the press and everything. We all had little flags. I was sitting there. Satvik had an Italian flag. He was sitting there, and Lokanath is, by this time, he had taken over the Padayatra fully. He was some involvement, but he didn't start it. That's a whole nother huge story, the Padayatra story. So we're all sitting there, and Lokanath's introducing everybody. Sridhar Maharaj, who did a lot for Padayatra, Gopal Krishna and Jai Patak. He's introducing, and he comes to Satvik. And he says, and this is Satvik from Italy. He helped to build some bullock carts for Padayatra. He had a much more involvement. Then I'm next. He says, and this is Tattva, what's the name? Darshan, is it? He knew me very well, okay? He said he went to America and brought back a couple of microphones for Padayatra.
He said that was your contribution.
That's what he said to the whole press, to all of India.
So virtually he minimized everyone.
So anyways, I'm in Hyderabad because of the Hyderabad farm crisis. There's gundas, there's everything, there's courts, and we had to deal with endowments department and all this. The next time I was in Hyderabad, Madhu Pandit became in. We became co-regional secretaries. So Prabhupada Murti was still sitting in Vrindavan with Bhaktisiddhanta. So Ma Shringa went up and brought Prabhupada back in the train, and then he came to sit in Bangalore.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So
the Utsav Gaur Nitai
Utsav Gaur Nitai
and Prabhupada. That was our Murti contribution. So
this, in that you said, along with the Gaur Nitai Deity, the registration certificate also was there. Whom did you hand over those things, certificate and all?
Once I remember sitting in my office. We sat on guddies then. We didn't have chairs and things like that back then, okay? We had a guddy, and I had a little office in that rented house. Satvik had made a Shiva statue for a fountain in that house, outside, in a rented house. Satvik was around then too. We were together from 70s. We went to America together. There's a really funny story with Satvik on that in America. I tell you that. It's really good. It's a classic. Satvik is a fantastic, great devotee. Okay. So the certificate, just in the frame it was in, I put it on the wall.
You put it on the wall?
Right behind my desk.
Okay.
What was a desk? A little guddy and a round one, white one, and with a little table in front of it. We're much to us as presidents, okay? And we weren't submitting accounts to Bombay. One day, I think he was still Bhakta Madhusudan. Maybe he had become Madhu Pandit by then. He asked me, what's that certificate on the wall? I says, Prabhupada said to register Karnataka. He remembered that years later, and that was helped to form the thing. And he asked me again about it, and we got more information. Now, what original certificate I have, I don't know what happened to it after I left, right? Just like I don't think Shankar Britt knew what happened to it, how it got in that box and how it got in that closet. But somehow Krishna kept it going. Prabhupada kept it going. So that's what happened to that. I put it on the wall. Wow. And when I left Mashring, I left. You know, I told Mashring, you're much more qualified than me to be the temple president here. Besides, and I even stayed around for a while as a BBT manager. And we all fought Bhaktivedanta Swarup Swami together.
Now, okay, it's wonderful. Now I want to ask you one question. Looking back from 1977, 78, you came, 77 December you came to India, and then Calcutta, from Calcutta, Bangalore, then being president, then again going back to Hyderabad. And then finally you ended up in Kodchadri.
No, there's so much in between.
Okay, so much is there. In between, I'm not going into those details.
Yeah.
Now you are in Kodchadri Hills. And now when you see this massive, colossal ISKCON Bangalore and winning the Supreme Court verdict, what do you feel?
Prema Pumartu Mahan. Unless one is empowered, these things cannot happen. Your group, headed by Madhu Pandit Prabhu, you are empowered. You are chosen by Krishna and Prabhupada to do this service. And what we see now with the Supreme Court thing is that simultaneously, whether they like it or not, or whether they agree with it or Ritvik is becoming bona fide in ISKCON. Ritvik is now bona fide in ISKCON. They'll argue, they'll fight against it. I'm having some conference right now with one Prabhupada forum, Prabhupada Disciple Forum. And every time the Ritvik issue comes up, they smash me, okay? And they just threaten to throw me off the because especially Basu Ghosh, okay? And when this original peace proposal came up with Bhima, actually the Bureau was ready to pass it. And then Romapad and Radhanath and these guys flew in from America and stopped it. Ravinda Sarup and all these guys, you know? And they're not even on the Indian Bureau. They were going to pass it. So anyways, in this forum, as per what Madhu Pandit spoke yesterday, Prabhu, is that, well, we'll again offer a peace proposal. Okay? Let it all go back in the name of ISKCON. So I started putting this in the forum. They're all just smashing Ritvik. That's all they're doing. They're saying, you know, this isn't right. We're going to challenge you to do all these things. But Bhima says, what does the Ritvik matter? He says, this is a property case. He says, so stop treating it as a Ritvik case. Just accept his offer. Right? Bhima says, just accept the offer. And I said, yeah, this offer is contingent that ISKCON accepts Ritvik. Right? I says, and that's not just for ISKCON India, that's for the world. And it's got to go through the GBC, not through the ISKCON Bureau. Right? And Bhima says, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, right? Let it be. So this argument is going on there. Right. And they refuse to acknowledge that this is an acknowledgement of Ritvik. This is a giant, it's not a property and administrative victory. It's a Ritvik victory. Because there's no question of the 40 centers and everything. It's all Ritvik, right? And that's not going to change.
I just want to ask you one more question. Like when hearing your conversation, you know, that 1980, 81, maybe up to early 82 or something like that. What I could figure out is chaos.
It was chaos. Everywhere it was chaos.
It was chaos. But if you see post 82 from when Madhu Pandit Prabhu took over, from that chaos it became systematic order.
Oh, this is one of the magics. You guys are so organized, so systematic, so well done, you know? And except for what ISKCON interjects, Madhu Pandit keeps the politics out of at one point, of course, there was a lot of, countered ISKCONs like this, ISKCONs like that, battle with Dayaram and Gundas and things. But then it developed. We just out-preach them. That's what we're going to do. We're going to out-preach them, you know? And that is it. So it's very positive. And how You have kept all the devotees. Okay, a few of the strays like Radha Krishna and all these guys, they went up there. I was in a room with Jayapataka Maharaj in about 7 years ago in a dupi, and Radha Krishna and some others were in another room. They were plotting how to take over when Jayapataka left. Prabhu. Besides just, helping being a small, minuscule part of coming up in Karnataka, and even now continuing in Karnataka as my Guru Datta Desh. I have so much more experience with these GBCs and with the Ritviks all over the world.
Exactly. Like, for example, when you were saying that Madhu Pandit Prabhu ended that kind of political games in ISKCON, and that's what I think gave it stability.
It did.
And like, for example, what you're saying, you have been a witness to this kind of things. Like, if you are in power, I want to, how to take over from you. Another person tries to take over from you. This kind of a upmanship.
Well, Prabhu, it's over with the Supreme Court ruling. It's over. They can't change. They'll never get a review in the Supreme Court. They'll never get a view. They'll never get a review. They're too weak. I've got this one lawyer right now. He's the one that's going up against ISKCON now. He's trying. This Tirtharaj in Andhra. You've heard of him, right?
No, I'm not very.
Oh, he's on fire against ISKCON, but he's not a real good Ritvik man either. He's not a Ritvik man at all. Anyways, he's doing an analysis. He's a high court lawyer. He's doing an analysis right now, which he's going to give me of the Supreme Court order and how it's flawed. Not flawed, how it's in favor, that they can never get a review against it.
It's like a rebirth of ISKCON.
It is. It is, Prabhu. It's new ISKCON. It's Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON, which you've been calling it all along. And of course, go global. Going global already. It's ISKCON. That we have to hold. And what is ISKCON? ISKCON is just where Srila Prabhupada is being followed. ISKCON has nothing to do with a registration on a piece of paper.
Correct.
You take India, for example. Is anything Radhanath Swami doing in this country ISKCON? Nothing legally is on paper as ISKCON. Everything is separate. The whole thing, the Radha Gopinath, the whole thing, the Eco Village Farm, it's all separate. They're occupying in Hyderabad now and in Prabhupada's birthplace and in ISKCON Calcutta and trying to move in. They're occupying ISKCON positions. But nothing that Radhanath Swami has is doing. That's why he resigned from GBC. What's the use? He has his own thing. You're not going. I don't, except on the Ritvik issue, I don't see how anybody like and Jayapataka Maharaj, how much stuff that he's doing is in the name of Namhata. Okay? It's all mixed up all over the world. How many ISKCON registrations are there? So what? We lost the thing in Long Island. It doesn't really mean anything. There's no temples in America except for Long Island, which is under the Long Island registration. Nobody else is. Everybody's got a separate thing. But we all say ISKCON based upon Prabhupada's charter of what is ISKCON. Did Prabhupada ever register to GBC in West Bengal? Prabhupada never registered. GBC was a ad hoc body that he accepted and he propagated as the leaders of my movement. He disbanded it twice, reconstructed it. You know how the GBC thing came into being? You know how it came into being?
Yeah, no.
Prabhupada was in his room in San Francisco, right? And he had a piece of paper, GB. It said GB on the top of the paper. And he wrote down about 10 names, including some Jadharani's name was on there. Tamal's name was on there. A few people's name was on there, right? And Prabhupada left. I know it was in LA. It wasn't in San Francisco. No, it was in San Francisco. And Tamal found this paper on Prabhupada's desk. Tamal Krishna told me the story. And GB and all their names. So he started calling up. Then we had just phones. We didn't have mobiles, okay? He started calling up everybody. What's this GB? You're on the list. What is GB? right? And they couldn't figure it out. So finally, they all unanimously agreed, going back. These are the ones Prabhupada chose to go back. and then they asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada laughed. He said, "No, I'm making a GBC." So right,
like I've heard something. So you telling about Jaitirtha, you were ordered or something like that. What was that
that's
actually?
Another story. And not only that, but I was with Jayatirtha in
London.
Going over the water. I was with Jayatirtha when he took a sannyas. I was with Jayatirtha in Dublin. And when the GBC, I was just a gopher. You know what a gopher is, right? Go for it. Do this, go that, go that. I'm a gopher. Okay. A peon, a surf, okay? I'm a gopher. All right? And they're expelling Jayatirtha this time, right? So who storms out of that GBC meeting? Somebody storms out of there. I think it was Bhagawan. He came out and he says, "Go find Jayatirtha, bring him here." In that angry voice. So I said, I saw him going down to the Ganga with a gamsha. Go get him, bring him here.
In Mayapur?
Yeah, in Mayapur, during the GBC meetings. So I went down the Ganga. And I was asking, as I seen it, and somehow he went the right side. He didn't go left. Longer you can go. After going maybe half a kilometer, I found Jayatirtha Maharaj. He was in the sand, rolling in the sand in a gamsha, going in and out of the Ganga, rolling in the sand. And he was pretty high on LSD. Okay?
And he was a GBC?
I said, "Maharaj, the GBC wants you in the meeting. They want you to come there." I said, "You're out," you know? And he was coherent. He could speak. He said, "I'm already out." He says, "I don't need the GBC to tell me I'm out. You go back and tell them I'm not coming. Tell them if they want to find me, they can find me in Sridar's Mutt." In Sridar's Mutt in Navadvip.
Oh.
He says, "I'm already out." So he went to Sridar's Mutt and I went to the GBC. And I said, "He's not coming. He's out." You know, you want to find him, you find him in Sridar's Mutt. But they had sent me to find him. I was with Mahashringa Maharaj in Detroit. It was a Vyasa Puja. This was probably 79, 80. Oh, no, this was a little later. This was 82 when I went back to America again, okay? 81, something. I don't know. We were in Detroit. No, it must have been 79 or first part of 80. We were in Mayapur Sankirtan party, Mahashringa. He had already, it was after his sannyas. So it must have been a little later. Anyways, we were in there and there was a Vyasa Puja for Jayatirtha. He had a Vyasa-san. And they had this canopy over the Vyasa-san. You pull it and the dollar bills and things fall on his head, right? So we're in there, Radhakunja Bihari's temple in Detroit. Very beautiful temple. And he's having his Vyasa Puja. And it was nighttime. And Mahashringa and I were there. He was a Maharaj by that time. No, he wasn't even Maharaj. He wasn't Maharaj yet. So this had to have been in the first part of the 80s or 79. And he's having his Vyasa Puja. And the dollar bills are falling on his head. Then he gets off the Vyasa-san. And he starts swooning. You know, the Radhanath dance, the swoon. The imitation of Lord Chaitanya. He starts swooning. And he starts singing Vibhavarti Shesha. This is 7, 8 o'clock at night. Vibhavarti, and he's swooning around the temple room. And they're all, "Oh, Maharaj!" And they're diving at his feet and everything. And Mahashringa and I are standing there. This is before sannyas.
This was before Jaitirtha took sannyas?
No, before Mahashringa
took sannyas. Before Mahashringa Prabhu took sannyas.
Jaitirtha had already taken sannyas in 79 in Los Angeles. I was there when he took sannyas.
Okay.
He took sannyas from all 11. They all 11 gave him the danda. He told me, "I'm not a sannyasi." He told me, "I'm not giving this." So he's swooning around. And one of his disciples by that time, they came up to Mahashringa and I and they said, because Maharaj is in ecstasy. And Mahashringa said, that ain't ecstasy, man. That's LSD. He said, that guy is high as a kite. You're offensive, Prabhu. You're offensive. One of his disciples told him. I says, Mahashringa. And then Mahashringa says, ask him why he's singing Vibhavari Shesha. Ask him, Tattva. So I said, Maharaj, he says, you know him better than I do. Ask him why he's singing Vibhavari Shesha. So he just finished singing. And I said, Maharaj, why are you singing Vibhavari Shesha?
Early morning.
This is nighttime. He said, there's no difference. Night and day. Krishna can be glorified in his names at any time. That's what he said. I said, well, even in samsara, there's a morning tune and an evening tune.
Was there a threat or something like that against Jayatirtha or something like that? No, some story I remember hearing.
Oh, so many things happened. There was a lot of things happened before he finally left with his head.
Is that cut off by
his own disciple in an antique shop in London. So anyways, those are all other stories that go back so far with the GBCs and each one of them personally and what happened and the tension they were under and the mistakes they made. I'll give you another small one. I was in first for Vyasa Puja, a Bhagawan in the castle in France, in the New Mayapur. I had gone there with Bhavananda and Satyadanya. They were sannyasis. I was doing Sankirtan for Mayapur. So they want to treat me good because a lot of money, okay? So they says, come to France with us, right? I went down there in France with them. And he said, there's going to be a feast up in Bhagawan's room. And you're invited to come up there. So they're having this whole Vyasa Puja, Patita Pavan, Bhagavan, Patita Pavan. They're chanting all the devotees in the temple room, and they're calling him the incarnation of the sun god.
Bhagavan is called the incarnation of sun god.
So anyways, it came time for prasadam. There was some criticism. I was speaking to some devotees. I came up to the room because I was invited for prasadam up there by Bhavananda. Okay? I came up there. And they had already all sat at the table. At the end of this long table with all the silver and gold ware and big teak chairs and this cathedral ceiling. This was the prasadam place. There must have been about 15 of them sitting down, right? They're all sitting at the table. Sundar Roop, who was Ayodhyapati, now Govinda Maharaj, Indrayumna, Bhagawan, Bhavananda, Satyadanya, all the head guys, okay? All sitting down in there. And there's one seat next to Bhavananda. Empty. He saved it for me somehow. I was still brahmachari too. So I came up in the door and I didn't walk in. I just walked right in the threshold of the door. And Bhagawan looks up and he says, "Who are you?" Who are you? And Bhavananda says, he's with me. Indrayumna says, that's Tattva. A couple of more, that's Tattva. And then Bhagavan goes, like, okay. Look down, didn't even look at me, okay? I got to know him a little bit later. And and Bhavananda motions to the chair, sit down. I says, Patita Pavan Bhagavan, the sun god. I says, I don't belong here with such great personality as you.
You told.
I told. I don't belong here. And in Europe, they called the slaves the serfs. Serf was a name. I says, I'm going to go downstairs and take prasadam with the serfs. And I walked out.
What a story. Thank you very much, Tattva Darshan.
Okay, yeah, I got to go too.
Yeah, it was time. And so much time spending, and can't imagine that from those days we have reached to to this level. It's really amazing, Srila Prabhupada's
Well, I'll
mercy.
say you guys are
and
on
a
the
great
right track.
leadership
You
that
are
we have
empowered.
who have
You
built
are
this
Srila
kind of a thing.
Prabhupada's ISKCON, and you will carry this movement forward. The only criticism that I don't think it has validity, but I mean, there's many criticisms, but those that are even favorable with Madhu Pandit and the Bangalore group of temples and things, you know what's all they all say? I'm not agreeing with this.
Yeah.
They all say that you guys got skin disease. There's no foreigners with you. It's all Indians. You all got skin disease, right?
No.
I know you don't. This is one of the criticisms, right?
Yeah. I will tell you one of the things from our thought process. I'm not authorized to speak, but yet I'm speaking. The thing is that in Bangalore, if you have to survive here in our temple, you need to bring in some amount of discipline, some of order, system, respect for rules,
Yeah.
and all those kind of things. So what happens generally, many, Western devotees, they want to be independent. They want to do what they want to do.
I know.
Falling in line with the system.
They won't follow the discipline.
That is their difficulty.
They won't do it. They won't do it.
It is not that we have a white skin problem or a skin problem. We don't. But we expect also that when you are here, you adhere to this kind of...
You know where this comes from?
Yeah.
It comes from the GBCs that are against you. This is what they use.
Yeah.
It's not true. I always counter it.
Yeah.
With so many devotees and so many all over the world. The Ritvik thing is all over the world, and a lot of them are Western devotees. It started with Western devotees.
No, I personally also, Madhu Pandit Prabhu goes out of its way to engage with...
no doubt.
But you must be willing to...
I'm not challenging.
And these principles are not what Madhu Pandit Prabhu made or...
and nowadays...
we just want to have whatever Prabhupada said.
Exactly.
You follow that.
But Prabhu, this is heard much less nowadays than it used to be in the past.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
It's heard very less nowadays.
Yeah.
They don't even use that as an argument anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
And I said, if they had a skin disease, why did he accept Jayapataka Maharaj as his guru in the beginning? I said, it's very simple. Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much. Dandavat. Hare Krishna.